And from that day to this, I've never fiddled my expenses because it's just not worth it.
That brings us on to another article of mine then about delivering bad news to your team. So it's look, all those with a job step forward. Where you going? Where you going? How do you deliver bad news to your team without crushing them? Now, Joanna, this is the reason I thought also that this was interesting is because it's connected to. I remember reading something about the lady who put together the first ever all-female team to do a professional round-the-world yacht race. What was her name? It wasn't Helen MacArthur,
Rosie someone.
Anyway, you've got me because I can't remember.
She was very famous at the time.
Yes.
And she's in our time. Anyway, I read a book about her and her voyage and her leadership, and one of the things that her and the crew agreed on that it was vital that when they were facing difficulty and there was bad news to be given, they were given it.
Yes.
They kind of felt it helped them survive. They needed to know. Anyway, this guy said, the author, I found it in the HBR again, the Harvard Business Review, Michelle Heelan said that they gave a talk on positive psychology, and a senior leader at this company they were talking to said, I'm going to use this to fuel my team's success. I'm only going to talk about good things from now on. And this guy said, that's not a good idea. You can't ignore problems and think they're going to go away that way. You can't sugarcoat reality. And he's been doing some research to back it up. I don't think you were in the studio at the time, but Mark was. We read out some research about exposing people to bad news. Don't read the newspapers in the morning.
Yeah, it will spoil your day.
Spoil your day.
Yeah.
These are the people. They exposed people to 3 minutes of negative news, and that led to a 27% higher likelihood of having a bad day. But they've said the crucial thing is that if you read bad news, but it's bad news with potential solution which you can have some say over, that improves your mood, that improves your performance. So they're saying you can give bad news so long as the bad news is given with some suggestion of we can solve this. I do know my clinical psychology colleagues would tell you that there's a lot of research, and the number changes all the time, but as long as you deliver and they're talking to people who are in some severe difficulty, severely depressed and so on. If you deliver some bad news with a ratio of, and here's where the number changes, 3 to 1, 5 to 1 pieces of good news, then people can take it. You just got to find the 5 things good that you can say about them. Look, you're really heading for a major disaster here. However, you've got great strength. You're still breathing. You're able to write your own name. If you deliver with 5 packets of good stuff, they'll take any one piece of bad news.
The bad news is we've got to amputate your legs. The good news is the man in the bed opposite wants to buy your slippers.
Yeah, and you've got to find 4 other things to say along with that. That's the thing. And you never like those slippers anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, 3 ways that managers can use this information with their teams is one of them, pair up. When you're faced with a problem, present it to the team.
I just think it's helpful because then they buy into the ultimate solution, or they buy into the challenge more appropriately and recognise that there are some ways around it, however good or bad they might be. But then they're buying into the process of change. It's all about change, isn't it?
Have you got experiences of having to deliver difficult news?
Yeah. You can say to your team, this went wrong and this is how I have decided we're going to deal with that. Or you can say, this didn't go according to plan. Why don't we all see what we can come up with about how to deal with it? And then whatever the solution is, however bad that is, be it a pay cut, redundancy,
we've missed all our targets.
Level, yeah. But if the outcome, if the suggested solution is actually our team is too big, we've got to let 5 people go. But if that's a collaborative decision that everybody reluctantly comes to, then there is an element of buy-in, and the 5 unlucky ones who get made redundant, they're party to how that decision was arrived at, and they're not going to be happy, but at least there's a level of involvement. So
yeah, I agree, because I think we all live in the real world and it can't always be good news. So if you have a leader that's good at communicating, engages with the team, so to often will talk to them about good news, but then when bad news comes up, they're not afraid of sharing that with the team. It's not a sort of them and us culture, so it's here's bad news for all of you, but I'm fine. And as you said, kind of engages with the team to find a solution that then they're inspired to deliver. I think that has to be the right approach.
Before you finish,
I'm not going to finish. I'm going to make sure we've read all three of them. Go on.
Tracy Edwards was the wonderful.
There you go.
yachtswoman.
Yeah. There you go.
And the boat was Yacht Maiden.
There you are.
And it's
Isn't Google a
amazing.
powerful tool, or are you just great memory?
She had some great
Powerful
stories of
tool.
leadership to tell. Anyway, item 1 on the list was don't ostracise your team. In other words, what we've just said, you can't hide this stuff from them.
It says don't ostrich.
Well, ostrich size.
It's not ostrich, it's ostrich.
Ostrich size. Sorry, you're right. Did I say it too quickly? Yeah. Don't stick your head in the sand and hope they go away. In order that you preserve their blissful ignorance and happiness. It doesn't work. It's no value. And the final one is the one I really like. The suggestion is that. Have you ever heard of appreciative inquiry? Anyone?
Yes, it's about highlighting the positives is the way that I would summarise it.
You look back and you will realise that in certain circumstances there are parallels, and in the past you have overcome these same things.
Yeah.
So the suggestion is, have a look back at what you've done in the past that's similar to this project. We've missed all our targets, and we've missed our targets before, haven't we? And what did we do? And the next year we hit them, and we did that through a process of employing these skills. We can employ them again, and it gives everybody a boost of confidence because you feel like you are able to do something about these circumstances. So I like that idea that you should showcase your track record and go back over all the things you've done in the past. Now, it says here, Adobe, there's a wall outside the cafeteria made of bricks. And written on it are the various patents and inventions that they've created to overcome previous challenges, they call them. Let's call them problems. Okay? So, there's a tip. Build yourself a wall with each brick.